It was recently announced that one of the biggest names in the YouTube industry, Defy Media, had gone out of business and declared bankruptcy. With them owning popular brands such as Smosh and Honest Trailers though, many have asked the question how on earth this happened. Well, if you know anything about this industry, the truth is sadly not that surprising. For years, Defy has been growing their company by having channels partner with them as well as buying out other YouTubers altogether. They run accounts such as Clever Media, Screen Junkies, and most famously Smosh. As I've been told, their acquisition of Smosh, run by Ian and Anthony, is what really put them on the map back in the day. As far as I knew, the company was doing just as good as any other in the space. That is until they announced an immediate shutdown of the company. Things became really interesting when Anthony saw this as an opportunity to open up about what went down. Up until this point, no one really knew why he left Smosh or why he even sold the company in the first place.
Ian and I sold Smosh in 2011 to what eventually became Defy Media. And we sold it for stock in the company, which was great. We were both from a small area outside of Sacramento. I grew up without much money. I was pretty poor, and I was like, you know what, this is great. I would love to sell my brand. So I sold it for $0. Selling for stock means that it's completely valueless unless that company goes public, which it never did. I sold Smosh for $0.
You heard that right, they gave away one of the biggest channels of all time and didn't get anything in return other than stocks that didn't exist. I had to rewatch the video over again to make sure I didn't hear what he said incorrectly. For years I assumed he received a multi-million-dollar payout, but that's not the case. So how on earth could they let this company scam them like that? While I of course don't have exact details, after thinking it over a bit, I think I figured out what the con was Defy pitched them. But to be clear, this is all speculation. The con goes like this. The businessmen of this new online video startup with plenty of investors went to a young Ian and Anthony and told them that the Defy company was going to be worth billions of dollars, and that if they gave them control of Smosh, they would handle all the business side of things, and as soon as the company went public, they would be given a massive amount of shares in the company that would make them super rich. And they signed on. The thing is, the guys at Defy realized that if they never let the company go public, they wouldn't have to pay Ian and Anthony anything. So they essentially received Smosh, a brand worth millions of dollars, for completely free. Well, what they did to Smosh was evil. In a messed up way, it's kind of genius. In the exposed video, Anthony also doesn't seem to understand how they blew all that money that he knew they brought in over the years. But I think I can. Firstly, they could have been investing it in content that would never be profitable, such as the Screen Junkies Plus subscription service. And secondly, top-level execs were conning investors and creators for years, as they drained the company dry, then left it to go bankrupt when nothing was left. But then again, all this is speculation. It may be surprising that Smosh was given to these clowns for no upfront payment, but stuff like this unfortunately happened a lot in the early days of this industry. Back in the good old days, these confidence men would let people grow the channel themselves and then would come in and rip them off. But as the years went on, they had more difficulty conning creators that had already built a name for themselves. Because of this, the trick in the current year is to find people that are not yet popular, but have potential, then invest in them so when they do become popular, they'll receive a large chunk of their earnings for the rest of time, or at least as long as the channel is running. The thing is, I honestly don't think this model will be as profitable as they think. In an attempt to grow these small channels, they'll be dumping massive amounts of money into them. But the fact is, if your idea for a YouTube channel is so expensive that you need big investors to fund it, the show will probably be too expensive to ever make a profit on YouTube. I've been warning about these big companies dumping money into YouTube channels for years, but people haven't listened to me. As Philip DeFranco stated in a recent video, all these companies want to do is grow, without considering sustainability. They want to make the company look like it's worth millions, then sell it off to someone else right before the house of cards falls down. This happened to Maker Studios, which was sold to Disney for a whopping $675 million a few years back. They had big numbers to justify that evaluation, but anyone actually involved in YouTube knew it wasn't worth anything close to that. Now everyone considers that acquisition to be a big waste of money, with Disney later cutting their losses and downsizing that business. There was a heyday for YouTube networks years ago when YouTube didn't have an infrastructure in place to deal with so many channels. So these middleman companies got involved. For many back then, you had no choice but to join one to make money. So they ripped people off with horrendous long-term contracts. The first blow to YouTube network sustainability, however, was around 2011 or 12, when they let anybody join YouTube AdSense. Now many who once needed the middlemen could go and get paid directly through Google. Even then, being with the network still provided you a bit of protection from the automated content ID claiming system. But eventually YouTube did away with that as well, leaving no real benefit to stay with the network for most. At this point 5 years back, more and more networks were coming into the picture as well. They kept on undercutting each other's ad rev deals to the point where places started offering 99-1 splits to the big channels just to get them on board. If I recall correctly, a few years back, Defy was offering 100-0 contracts to people. To this very day, we still have some people finally getting out of their terrible 7-year contracts from back in the early days. And now they're deciding to go through Google AdSense because they'll get 100% of their money and won't have to worry about a Defy-style disaster happening to them. If you go on Twitter, you'll see dozens of creators that were with Defy complaining that they're still owed thousands of dollars. Some of them tens of thousands of dollars. I can say with certainty that this won't be the last time one of these networks crash and burn. Because of this, I tell every YouTuber watching to make sure you're not the one owed money when it happens. Hey everybody, and thank you so much for making it to the end of this video today. It's really appreciated, and I feel that I haven't had a chance to talk to you directly like this in quite a while, mainly because most of the What Happened To videos I've been doing recently all have brand deals on them, which is actually a really good thing. All the money I've made off those brand deals allowed me to make a new 4chan prank video even though I lost money on it. So having these extra brand deals gives me a lot more freedom to do projects that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise because I know I would lose money on them. Over the past month or so, a lot of people have been asking me whatever happened to that film contest I entered, and I unfortunately lost it. It's very disappointing, but what happened was I came in second place, and the first place person got some Ecuadorian YouTube/Facebook celebrities to go and promote them last minute, and they just were able to beat me by a bit. I was talking to the people at Road and they said, yes, you were very close with them. So that is extremely disappointing, but I'm over it now. I'm making enough money through these brand deals and stuff that I wasn't relying on those prizes to keep me going. So everything's good, but I just felt the need to come out and thank you guys, even though the thank you is a little late. For everybody that voted for me, I know a lot of you guys did, and I really do appreciate it. I don't think I'll be doing any more contests in the near future, but I do plan on doing more short films, more Wooden Man related content. My plan for a while now has actually been to try to build up my way to making a feature-length film, and I felt that that was a good first step to getting to that goal, and hopefully I'll provide you more information soon with what my next project will be. But until then, I just want to say thanks again for voting. And until next time, thank you for watching.